Hello, greetings. So, welcome to another day of randomness. So at the moment I'm kind of juggling like 3 different things, kind of all interconnected. So yeah, you see my tablet screen set up. I have the cutting board, the clear cutting mat surface taped on, just because we'll be dealing with a little bit of washes, and then I just give myself a little extra barrier between electronics and water. Also, I wanted to do a quick little thing because I really like this little insert card. It's not perfect for displaying the colors that are in that set. You know, it's always better to see like what stuff looks like on the papers that you use, so I definitely recommend swatching those. I probably will make a portable swatch card. And then this one I didn't put it on there. Okay. I thought I had marked the light fastness there, and I was just going to transfer it on with a marker real quick. But instead, I'm going back to my handy dandy phone where I had saved that. Sorry. Stuff downstairs, and I hadn't seen the message pop through until right now. So it should be just a second while I get back to this. Holy cow, I must have, I've created a few notes since then. Shade. There we go. Here's my notes for the shade and tone mixed media set. And that way you guys can see the, oh, I grabbed my brush instead of the bullet tip. That's fine. I haven't used this brush much. Mars Orange. I'm just gonna label them up here. So this one's an 8. Sanguine is a 6. Venetian Red is an 8. I really wish I had gone about this from right to left. Sepia. That's okay. This one's an 8. Autumn Brown Graphic Tint is a 5. This is the one that I don't recommend for use if you're selling your work. Everything that's like 6 and above, that is fine. For 5, maybe if you're doing something like greeting cards, like things that people don't expect to be like become an heirloom sort of situation, like that should be fine. But if you're making it as like art that easily detaches from a greeting card, maybe you don't want to use that color. I mean, you can also let people know. Some people are really interested in going ahead and using media that is going to fade and making that part of the art, like that. Just flat out let your seller know ahead of time, this thing is designed to change over time. Some people are really into that. I think it's an interesting approach, and it's one that, I don't know, I'm kind of in the middle, like, of 2 minds about it. Like, I think it's neat, but I haven't done it myself. Sepia ink. Oh, Burnt Earth is a 7. Sepia ink is an 8. Graphite Gray is an 8. That's not a surprise since it's graphite. Storm Gray is a 7. Nice. Antique. Well, it says antique white on my original research. These might be a little bit different, but white says it's an 8. And black says it's an 8. Alright. My 8s all look a little bit different because my handwriting is so freaking random. Anyways, so yeah, that's done. That's just one of those, like, this is on the top of my mind because for the next project we're going into, I wanted to know these before I'm using something to go ahead and antique the commission piece, because that is for sale. I need to know the light fastness. So there's that. So that's why I said these things are related, believe me. So as far as, I'm just gonna put my tape back down here. I was bad and I didn't change my battery out from last time. So I'm probably gonna have to change that in the middle of the stream, and I have the hiccups too, which is fun. But I'm just leaving the screen on below because it's a little bit annoying to me to hear like the chime from like a new USB device has been plugged in. That's one of those things that's like, no, I'm just gonna prep that ahead of time. And also just the setup for multiple desktops, so that way when we do go to shooting the digital bits that I want to do today, that's already kind of like ready to go. So that's why I'm doing that. I wouldn't normally just be sitting here with everything on. I would even pull this out as I need it, and instead I'm just like, you know, I'm gonna have stuff just kind of ready to go. I went in here with a ruler and pencil, just popped in a new line because a lot of that line had been lost when that tape came up. This top edge, which I don't think you can see it, but originally my ruler was just a scant bit away from where my mark was, and so there's a little bit of graphite that traveled. I did give an attempt to erase that before I put the final line in, but it wasn't really going anywhere because so much paper is peeled, and I'm like, I don't want more paper to peel in my attempt to go ahead and fix things, so it's happy there. It's getting antiqued anyway. Can't we all just get along? Alright, so, let's see. Alright, so I'm going to just pop over to the Twitter, not Twitter, the Twitch, and just say hi to everybody. You're welcome to go ahead and comment if you have any questions about what I'm doing, like what is this crazy person up to. So yeah, there's that. I'm happy to answer questions about stream, you know, behind the scenes stuff, some of the random stuff that I'm jumping between, because I just realized that like today is the 22nd, so I need to do my digital stuff for Cricut today. For reasons I'm not going to disclose, I'm not going to be running my Cricut right now, so you're not going to see finished stuffs. Basically, you're going to see me just setting up projects and having everything ready and saved, so I can go right to making that stuff at a slightly later time today. So all that's got to be crammed in today. Back to the main point. I'm kind of feeling maybe some raw sienna. So I did bring my portable painter palette back out. This is that bright and dark palette that you've seen before if you've joined us previously. If not, I'll go ahead and pull it out and show you. I'll just do the quick swatch card. I'm not gonna unfold it unless I think I'm gonna go towards the raw sienna. But here's just the general palette. Please forgive me on the slightly warmer light. It's not my preference, and actually, I just realized I hadn't turned this light back up. I use this light at night, and I turn it way down because I don't need it at full brightness at that hour. Yeah, and it keeps that setting, so it doesn't matter if it's on or off, it's just ready to go wherever you had it last. But, yeah. So, happy little palette. This is the one that I'm going to be testing out when I do the flower show next month. And I have I have a surprise project I gotta work on this month too. So that'll be coming tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow, Monday. So that'll be a quick throw together because I forget how to read a calendar on occasion. So stuff is coming up this week. Yeah, not a whole lot. I'm not really going on about this palette right now. Because that's not the point. I'm just looking at the color. Do I want raw sienna? I already have raw sienna in the banner. I think I might bring a different color to it for the aging. I think I might do the sepia really, really thin. I think that's where I'm going. So let me put this little swatch card back where it belongs so I can find it easily next time if I want to talk about that palette again later. I'm gonna move the little insert, and I'm just going to be mixing up a little puddle off camera. Let's see. I'm going in with my fancy brush today. Not my unknown number 8. So this is my known number 8 round, Princeton Velvet Touch. I really like how these handles feel. They're like satiny, so soft. This one, the point isn't perfect on it, but you know what? We're not going for precision. We're just going to fade in a nice little wash along the edges here. So I'm just going to let that kind of soak in from this side. It's going to spill a little bit into the image itself. What I'm going to do with that is probably just soften those edges with a wash. So I'm going to prep some pigment, like really, really light pigment, before we get into this. I'm going to go really gentle across, actually, no, I'm going to go really gentle across this edge. This is the open edge on this block. The top and the bottom are secured because this is an easy block, and hopefully by the time the stream ends, this will be dry enough that I can remove it and we can go ahead and cut it down. So hopefully you can see that bit. But right now I'm just leaving it mounted when I'm doing these tweaks. And there was something else I was going to say about that. That'll come back to me. Alright, so I believe this one is the sepia? Yes. It's so nice having my handy dandy chart. Oh, and I have a project I want to work on with some dry media. That's gonna have to wait until at least Tuesday. Maybe Wednesday. But that's going to be using that toned green block. I got that with a with one of the Derwent pastels, and I have an idea in mind to use both that and my Contes, and to do a unique portrait that is high in priority in my brain. Great, so we're gonna see if this is watery enough here. No, that is not watery enough. That's okay, because we can add more water. Lots more water, and I'm gonna blot that. Just kind of neat. Things age at different rates, so I'm not super concerned that that was there and a little bit messy. And I knew I would need to thin this pretty well to get the effect I wanted. Actually, I feel like this is not blotted enough. I have this palette sitting on top of some pencils and it is not sitting flat, so I'm annoyed. It's okay. And I got another fuzzy over here. That's better. And basically, I just want to stain the surface ever so slightly, as if this was a card that was sitting in a stack of papers. And I'm okay with it being random. And now I'm gonna go clean out the brush. Really, I'm just wetting the brush pretty heavily. I'm not really removing the pigment, and we're just doing another stripe there. Go ahead and bring that in. And I'm going to come in further with a paper towel. Napkin, something clean. Alright, that's pretty clean. It's pretty clean on the edge, where it counts. I don't want this to be too heavy across the work. Oh! I got green pigment running. I'm gonna have to wait for that to dry, and then I can go ahead and attempt to lift the pigment. Sap green is a little bit staining too. That's a shame. It's like, watch me mess up my stuff live. I should have known that was a little bit too wet. That's alright. Okay, so this time I'm blotting off my brush. I'm gonna see if I can do anything with this while it's still wet. I know you shouldn't touch your work with your fingers. I'm really trying not to, but I really want to lift some of this. It's up there with the weird things that'll give this piece character. That is certainly the risk that you have when you apply water on water-based media. Sometimes it will do unexpected things. I already had that bit of purple staining that was living on the original, and I've tried lifting it a few times. I mean, the excuse to not, like, scrub the paper too hard is kind of moot. I don't know. So I'm going to leave that for right now. I'm going to let that dry a bit, because I don't want to muddy this further. But I am going to attempt another shot at scrubbing that up and lifting. Like I said, I don't want to go too heavy with the water on the edge, but I do want watery pigment. So I'm going to go kind of leaning the pigment towards the inside. That's why I'm pointing the brush this way. Don't want it to overhang the edge of the paper. I have to thank my friend Sharon for the suggestion on this fix. I don't know if she's watching today, but when you do see this, thank you. I thanked her in person, but it's always nice to hear it. Well, I've thanked her on Messenger. Unfortunately, we live very far away. Alright, so I'm gonna try to soften this edge. I might have waited a little too long because that wasn't very wet with pigment. I don't care if this looks a little bit splotchy because this is random aging. Aging does not happen uniformly. Oh, look at Hollywood. Some people age real fast, some people don't. Some people look like they're the same age and get vampire conspiracies about them. Hello, Keanu Reeves. Dude looks like a vampire anyway. I might be biased though because Bram Stoker's Dracula. I played such an uptight Brit, reminds me of one of my exes. So uptight. Like, can you remove the stick, dude? Can you tell why it didn't work out? Like, I'm pretty freaking serious. I don't need somebody who's that serious. Alright. So after doing it on the top, well, on the sides, I'm feeling like I need to do a little bit on the top and bottom. I am going really light. I have this giant puddle of pigment here and I'm like barely using it. This will just be one of those odd spots on my palette where I prepped a whole bunch of pigment that I didn't need. Just very gently. I feel like I am gonna hit this with some raw sienna though, because right now it looks like somebody just spilled chocolate milk on the edges. And it's not a bad tone to be involved in the antiquing, it's just not great for how paper tends to age. Paper tends to yellow. And really, like, this is like more like dirt effect or chocolate milk effect, like I was saying. Of course, I'm gonna think of like spilled chocolate milk because I have 2 small kids. I'm gonna do just a touch more pigment in this. I let that run really, really dry. Oh, not really dry, really light on the pigment. I let that run a little wet. I'm just gonna blot that in little bits of pigment at them. Actually, I'll tilt them even and try to help them tip. And my camera's telling me low battery. It's alright. Because you know what? It might even go at a convenient time to decide to just shut off. And then I'll be switching over to the desktop screen anyway. That'll be kind of smooth. Be like, I planned it. But you guys know better, because I told you. Alright, so I need to let that palette dry. In the meantime, I am... I'm letting this dry. I don't mind that being a hard edge there, because I'm going to go over it with the raw sienna. I'm just going to change how it aged a little bit. Doing a quick check to see if anything else is going on. Doop-de-doo. Alright, I'm trying to be quick because I want to catch this before that battery runs out. Because that would be handy to not have to juggle an extra thing on this little itty-bitty edge of my desk that's open. I even have my box cutter out, which I don't need to because it sits right behind me in the basket. Alright, so coming back with raw sienna. I know from previously, if you've joined me previously, you would have seen my thing about raw sienna does not like to lift from this paper. That's why I'm a little leery about any of that coming up when I try to. I'm going a little quote-unquote heavier with the raw sienna up here. So I want that to soak into these paper fibers. That's where I'm just straight up highlighting that damage. That's going a little stronger than I had previously with the mix. I'm going really soft. I'm not going to try to soften these edges too far out like I did before. So I don't want to touch that sap green again. And hopefully that's a good enough angle that you're seeing the gist of what I'm doing. Putting a bit more raw sienna, a bit more water. Oh, you guys will have to let me know what you think of the music. I'm kind of having fun with the new playlist. This is the music that I bought from a Humble Bundle, and it is royalty-free stuff for, like, you could do games, videos, and whatever. Like, if you were a game programmer, which I won't get involved in the programming side, but I am currently doing a course for a bachelor's in game art and development, so maybe some of this will see use in a project in the future. Wouldn't that be interesting? I don't know, I really like traditional art though, so I'm not positive if that'll be relevant or not. So yeah, just doing raw sienna, softening the edge. Rambling on with you guys. I'm gonna build it up a little bit more in the corner, just because of that weird transition line. Let it be a little heavier with the age. What I might do after this is off and I've sealed it and trimmed up the edges, I might go ahead and actually use my little corner rounder and round those edges and make it look like it was a card. Alright, so wetting the brush again, blotting. I really want to go really sparing with the water, especially around the leaves. I try to be like up and away from it. I don't want to re-wet those layers and have them loose. But I'm kind of liking the effect. I do feel like I need a little more raw sienna up here in this corner. Just gonna let that be a little patchy, a little random. A little bit. So I want it to be a little bit smooth across this bottom edge. I don't know if you've ever seen like when a whole lot of papers are like pressed together. It doesn't seem to like affect the inside. It'll just kind of like the yellowing will kind of seep in from the sides. That's where the paper is oxidized. Oxidized might be the wrong word. I mean, it is able to have some moisture reaching it. I mean, if the paper is acidic, then I guess that would be relevant. Just kind of softly going around the corners on this one. I kind of like it. Alright, and then I'm gonna... I basically have a dry brush here, and it is so light with the pigment. You guys are probably like, what are you even doing with this thing? Because I'm not seeing anything. It's because it's so light. Don't want to go too heavy with any of this. It's supposed to be a subtle thing. Yeah, we're gonna let that dry. I probably won't be able to seal it today because I'm gonna wind up scrubbing at that green. See if I can lift some of that streaking. And that's normally a little bit of a process because you have to wet the paper, pull it up, give it time to dry, because I'm not trying to scrub this to the point of damaging the paper, especially since I'm already trying to repair damage. I'm not trying to heap more on. Oh, nice. So I had that bleed-proof white just sitting loose on one of my wells, and decided to fall into some of this M-gram. I think this one is my which one are you? You are my neutral tint. So I pulled that crumb out, but there's more in there. I'm gonna try to pull that off. And then, silly me, I put the rest of the crumbs back into the palette, not thinking like, oh well, so hold this thing closed, it's going to be right on top. I'm just gonna go in with my wet brush and dampen the brush, and hopefully this will pull up the crumbs and I can just put them into my water jar. Because that's better than these guys just kind of chilling in some of my other paint wells. Since that wasn't sticking like I'd hoped it would. I think that's all cleaned out. So yeah, if you have paint that's crumbling, that's an easy fix for just picking it up. Just damp brush and pick up the crumbs. Sometimes you can re-moisten it. In the case of really crumbly paint and that you do want to travel with, when it is in a liquid state, like if you just squeezed it out of a tube, you can add a little bit of glycerin or honey to it. And by doing that, you're going to, like, these are things that like hold moisture in. They're called humectants. So you can get glycerin with a vegetable base, so you can be vegan about it if that is your path. I prefer honey because honey has a natural antibacterial property to it, so I don't have to add extra stuff to my watercolors in order to keep them from molding. Even though clove oil is good for that too, but I don't want to mix oil with a water media, so I avoid that. I'm just pulling this off to go ahead and let it dry, so it's off to the edge, and then we're gonna go switch over to the screen here. We're gonna go ahead and play in. We're gonna play in some Cricut Design Studio. I have a bunch of projects that I kind of started messing with. Let's see some previous projects that you might have seen if you're following me on social media. Alright, so I'm not a affiliate or advocate of Cricut, or they're honestly, I don't know enough about their business practices to be anywhere. Like, I don't have an opinion of them, other than sometimes their software has been the most frustrating software I've used. But there have been updates since then, which have, as far as I know, nullified the problems that I had. On my end here, you don't see because I've already switched from the camera view. Actually, I'm just going to switch the camera off. I'm going to swap that battery now. So just in case, when I do switch back, we don't have to deal with the camera off thing. But the other delay that I'm rambling on about at the same time is that I'm removing the tape from that cutting mat so I can actually manipulate stuff on the screen. Because I'm not doing this with my mouse. Yeah, okay, that's good. Alright, so putting the cutting mat back where I park it when it's not on my desk. And grabbing my pen, because this is on my tablet input screen. It's just a little easier for me to manage when I'm doing stuff that is strongly digital. I can just drag and drop things. Yep, unlimited unique collections. Interesting. I haven't messed with the collections function, but maybe I will at some point. I have some random coloring pages. I have some lots of little packaging things. Lots of like die cut type card things. Those are elements that I really love. Like, for example, we'll see if my mouse is going to show. My mouse is probably showing live where I'm at. I'm not actually seeing the cursor appear, that's weird. But anyways, so yeah, I'm currently moving the cursor over like the lace points out of card because I like that card. It's a cool design. Maybe I will cut out bits of it. I don't know, I'm not really thinking of like Christmas stuff in May. Like, I know a lot of people do like the Christmas in July type stuff. There's so much stuff. But I'm gonna leave this alone for the moment. I'm gonna go up to, let's see, I didn't even try to get to my canvas. I was over here originally. Because there's some stuff that I wanted to prep. So a couple of these that I had saved, hopefully, no, it didn't save in my projects. So I just bookmarked them apparently. But I'm working on some signs. Oh, they're in the projects here. I like the foil effect. I just learned about the Cricut foil option. I had seen the one before, I think it was from Heidi Swap. And that one was like, nah, I don't want to be juggling that. But now that Cricut has like a pressure sensitive one, and you just pop in different size nibs and they're magnetized, like it's really convenient. Only you have to pay for, the price of Cricut stuff. Cricut branded stuff can kind of vary a bit there. What was I gonna do? I think what I was going to do was just grab this and rework this so that it was sized for my needs. Now, will I load all my materials? Now there's card mats. I really want to see these card mats. There's an update that just happened. I saw it like just over a half hour ago today. They did the software update. I'm seeing all this. I'm like, ooh. I know, I'm ridiculous. I was just talking about like, I don't really feel this from Cricut, and then here I am, looking forward to seeing more stuff from Cricut. See, I don't want to prepare the mats. I want to customize. I apparently clicked the wrong thing. Customize. There we go. Alright, so flat out, one of these groups, I'm gonna delete it. the round one. Would be fine for a sign or something, but I'm gonna delete it. And I'm gonna save it already as specify you know what? I'm gonna make a new collection called Cut Me Now, because I want to go ahead and make these things all today. Alright, so that's ready. I'm only saving it in the early phases because that's what I do with stuff. Can you scroll back up, please? Why are you not scrolling back up? What's my computer doing? I need to grab my mouse to do that, and I don't know why. My tablet input's been a little bit funky. I haven't used it in a while, and I broke it out, and I had to redo the, oh, now I'm blanking on the word. Alignment, I guess? And then I realized there's different settings for it to work between the two screens, so it was messy with this with the sensitivity of it. So I'd be pushing stuff on screen, but it would be affecting things on my main monitor, which I have set as like a screen to the left. That was a little clunky for a bit before I realized, you know, to go ahead and change that. I'm going to deselect. Maybe unlock? I know there's a way I can detach them from each other. It's not quite a slice scenario. While I like this one for the scale that I have to work with, oh, what? I'm pointing at the middle one. While I like this middle one, I like the size. Like, I like the ratio of it. It definitely reads as a crescent moon, but for the size of the paper that I'm using, that's not going to work out for me. So I'm trying to... This might have been faster if I just kept the circle and made another circle to go ahead and cut a chunk out of it. But, Nice. If you hold shift, you can go ahead and get it to snap back to shape. Yeah, I definitely want to go with that. I just need to figure out how to remove it. I don't play in this often enough, can you tell? It's just gonna go into shapes. Oh, look at that. Here's this nice big shape. I think if I just make this big enough, just kind of lean it on here. A little bigger, cover those. This, move it over a little bit. I know this is ridiculous, I'm going to slice. Slice. Okay, so now this one, I can delete. This, I can delete. This, I can delete. I know I have these two little bits to go ahead and remove. It's a silly way to do it, but it's the first way my brain could think of in order to go ahead and do it. Alright, so we come over here. Shift select both layers, hit slice. Probably the clunkiest way to do this thing. But you know what? I am happy enough about that. You know what? I'm gonna keep that one for a second, because I think if I line it up right, maybe I'll get it to fit. Yeah, put you up there. Silliness. It's like, well, you know what? It did the job. It was probably a lot more clunky than it needed to be, but I'm not trying to be sitting here all day with you guys. Like, it's one thing to waste my time, it's another thing to waste other people's time, I guess. Like when I'm learning new processes. If you know another way to do that, let me know. Like I said, if I probably could have done this so much faster if I just you know, made just another circle and then sliced the chunk out of it. It's alright. I'm gonna see how big this is hitting the 12-inch mark. I gave myself a teeny bit of margin because I know the mat likes to have that little bit of margin. And this is telling me, I'm guessing that it's too big for the mat. Yeah, reduce image size to 11.5 by 23.5. Yeah, I will. You give me a moment. It's not wanting me to scroll down. I'm coming down here just a bit. This thing isn't even that big. What are you talking about, Cricut? But anyway, it is past the 12-inch mark down here, so I need to bring this in because I have to fit it on a 12 by 12. Give myself that itty bitty little margin. Yeah, for whatever reason, my tablet input does not like me trying to scroll back up in the software. That's okay. So we have 9-ish by 12, I think. That'll work. Alright, so now we hit save. Save. Alright, so that is ready to go for when I have time to do all my cutting. That was another thing I was thinking is like the time to go back and forth between like from here to the cutting mat. Go ahead and feed new paper in. It's literally a little bit of jumping through hoops for me in a way. Not literally jumping through hoops, but I have my son's pack and play set up in front of the shelf that I use for the Cricut. That's for when he's chilling up here, and I would be hopping into it if I'm not folding the thing up. I tend not to fold that thing up. It's no, they seem like they were easier to use when I was a kid and like helping out my aunts with their kids. But anyway, I don't want to go into new canvas. We'll just go back home. I'll go ahead and search for that cat project that I found before. So I'm also doing a cat sign. That one's kind of cute. And that one's actually free. So I'm just gonna save that one. I don't know if I'm gonna use that, but I kind of like. There's another one that I found in the project section. That most of the stuff that I find it tends to be in the project section because that's where the phone kind of defaults. Yeah, it is the same one, the black and white cat pillow. Yeah, that's the shape that I found before. So somebody converted it to go ahead and be cut for fabric, and now it's Cricut Access. Like now you have to pay to get to it. It's the same same bloody shape. Same thing. That's frustrating, man. Alright, so we're going back up to the free one. I don't even have to worry about cutting it right away. That cat card is cool, though. The little skeleton cat. Okay, I really like that. I think I'm going to make that Halloween's a lot closer than Christmas. Do some Halloween cards this year. Alright, so actually, I'm going to go ahead and hit search again. Get back down to these projects. I like it. I'm gonna click on it. Oh, they don't let you customize it. Oh, it's designed for the Cricut card. Aw, man. Well, it sounds cool. I'll probably at least look at it, but yeah, I'm not making this project right now. That really sucks though. I can't customize it and then just pull the skeleton cat. Like, oops, if I can spell skeleton. Skeleton cat. I want to see if that image is anywhere else because that was freaking adorable. I love that cat. I'm seeing lots of cats. I'm seeing lots of skeletons. But the only skeleton cat is on that card thing. I'm wondering if I can lie to my Cricut and say that I've loaded one of those card mats and just pop on like a big 12 by 12 so that way it's going to cut somewhere on the card. I don't have any 12 by 12 card. I have some, I think, A4. Oh well. Anyways, I digress. We have like 15 minutes for me to finish setting up these projects, so I'm going to go back to just cat. We're gonna go to this free cat. Okay, so there's that. You save as. Silhouette. Sign. Yes, this will be in the collection. Cut me now. Alright, so we're gonna delete that since we have a new file. Back over here. And it's going to scroll up. I'm gonna move this guy up towards the top. I don't know why, but my tablet input. I don't know, maybe it's just the Cricut app. I haven't had issues scrolling anything else. I was just in 3ds Max earlier. By earlier I mean like 4 in the morning when I had some time to get to some projects. Ooh, that's a little big. Great. So I need to adjust the width. Because with that tail, it went past the 12. I need to keep my stuff within a 12 by 12. Right, and while I think these... Well, I don't mind the cutouts at the bottom for the little paws and for you to see the leg. I'm not feeling the face. So maybe I'll keep it because right now I'm going to do the cut with just standard paper because I don't have poster board. Cut down to size. So I might do... I'm basically going to be making these as templates for bigger signs. Or not bigger signs, but signs out of different media. Maybe cardboard and backfilling, or maybe jigsaw cut some like MDF or something. So I'm gonna leave... I think I'm gonna leave the face, and then I'll make a decision about that later. I can use that as a template for painting, if I'm not going to use it for cutting. Oh, and we ran out of music. Well then, because I just picked some random bit towards the end of the playlist, so I put 4... Is it 4? Yeah, 4 of the albums onto Winamp, and that's not even a drop in the bucket for all the stuff that I got and downloaded. But yeah, I'm gonna hit save for this project. And just hop over here on the Twitch. Hello, Twitch. And hello to everybody on the replay on YouTube. Alright, so hopping back over here. These are some random gifty type things. So let me go back to home. You know what? Why not? I'm gonna look for a cheesy card. Maybe there is something there. I'm seeing lots of results for card. Nobody's put into the search for a cheesy card. Oh, there's a cheesy envelope though. You know, I think I actually have... I think I have yellow construction paper somewhere. Not construction paper, cardstock. I kind of like it. We got some square lines, we got some cutting. Didn't change anything. Oh, you need the bigger cutting mat. And the bigger paper. Well, that rules me out. Yeah, I don't have the bigger mat. I only have a 12 by 12 right now. So this is... I'm gonna save it. It's gonna be flat out like larger paper. Oh well. So there's that. That's not gonna work for me. But tis fine. I'm just doing a quick skim, seeing what's here. I love some of the Halloween stuff, like that cat. That cat was really cool. I'll type in spooky. Why not? I don't think, like... I can think of so many more negative terms, like, you know, edgelord. Let's see, hot topic. I poke fun at the genre. I'm very much so a fan of the goth aesthetic. Oh, that one's kind of cute. That sign is actually pretty cute. I have a roommate that would love that. It's kind of cool. Yeah, so I'm saving a couple projects. Because why not? I think it was all 8. All 9. Labels I could take or leave. Actually, though cutting label shapes could be incredibly handy. Oh. And so now I'm doing a quick search for like a page of labels. I can also just fill up a sheet with them when I find the label shape I like. Okay, so what kind of labels? We'll go with Victorian labels. Guess it's yelling at me for having lowercase there. I'm just looking for some label shapes that I like. I'm probably going to add some more elements onto them. Okay, this is a super fancy like candy jar label. I'm just going to show the final. Was that? Because I'm not messing with that right now. It was a really pretty project. If you just type in Anna Griffin, I get her confused with Leah Griffith, who does crepe paper flowers, which I think she has stuff in here now because some of her projects are optimized for like Cricut Maker. But this was just... This will probably be one of the more boring videos. I promise it's not like this all the time. We got lots of results for labels. I'm going to be importing a bunch of labels and cutting them, and I'll show you guys the finalized files because I didn't have a whole lot of specific other than those two signs. And the labels bit is me trying to find stuff to go ahead and mark these my divider tabs that I put into my journal. There's a lot of really good label shapes. Ooh, I like that one. So I'm going to try to find some that are by themselves instead of in the Anna Griffin projects. Just that way I have a little bit less to mess with on them, so I'm just saving a couple of them if my computer will let me. Will you let me save? There we go. Jeez. I don't love the round ones. I kind of like them to have a little bit of point to them. Like literally a point. I like that one, but I would make it a little bit shorter and stubbier. Yeah, the pink one. I like the shape. A little stubbier, a little pointier. That one I like too. So yeah, I'm basically just going to scroll through, find a couple of these that I kind of like, get them added to the mat, and then I will be showing you guys what I decide to do with them. Some of them I'm going to add some images to go ahead and do like a print and cut type scenario. Ooh, that one's really cool. I wonder if there's any that feel a little bit more kind of circusy. That one's kind of circusy. I have kind of a general vibe idea for some of these. I'm probably not even going to use all of them, but I'm one of those people who works on stuff visually. I'll probably find I'll need to recut some of them a different size. That's not too bad. That's kind of 50-50. I like this one looking like it's metal. Grab a couple of those. I don't have any brads. I do have some grommets. I haven't wanted to add like dimensional elements to my project, but I also have some like Nuvo drops. Those are kind of cute. So yeah, today was a little bit more scrapbooky than arty, but I like playing with some of that design work, and I think it's important to balance your other interests. And for me, that's a big thing. Like as far as like that aesthetic organizing. Yeah, I think I'm actually going to call it right at 3 today. That's when the live stream ends. It's 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's -5 for Greenwich Mean Time. And I normally get the videos up onto YouTube by 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. At any point, for those of you who watch on Twitch, I have the lowest tier Twitch membership, so that means that my videos all disappear after about 14 days. So at any point, if you want to catch up with what's come before, feel free to join me over on YouTube. Just search Red Persephone Art, all one word, and you can go ahead and see the entire backlog for like the series for Wonderland, MerMay before I shifted gears to whatever's on my plate today. It's a little bit more random, a little bit more hectic lately. I will be still stopping back on those MerMay prompts, but that'll be in a more natural, not rushed sense. I don't know. My stuff's kind of at random anyway, but yeah, it's fun. I like it. I do like this new approach of like just tackling, projects that I feel I'm ready to tackle. So these labels are still a little bit of a dig. I kind of had a feeling it might go that way. So I'll go ahead and search for a little bit more of that, and I'll update you guys on progress probably within the next couple days. I have some other digital assets I need to comb through too that are part of that whole planning process and building on that aesthetic. And the journal is well, I keep saying journal, but it's journal, planner, whatever. It is already useful. I put the dividers in place. I've started using it. I'm not using it as like a bullet journal per se, but it's getting closer to that, and I'll be showing you guys updates shortly. I think that is it for today. Keep on, in this case, painting, designing, playing, experimenting. Definitely do all the things. Bye for now. We'll see you tomorrow.